This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, one and all. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Email address is xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And of course, you can always find out what's going on in the X-Zone, past, present, and future. No, you don't need a crystal ball. No, you don't need tarot cards. All you need to do is go to www.xzonerradio.com. My guest this hour is Ashton Rogers, and Ashton is the founder and lead investigator of NTParanormal Investigations. As an electronics and software engineer, he has had a profound interest in science and technology, with his casual side interest in the paranormal. In 2014, that casual interest turned very serious when he had a face-to-face encounter of his own. Ashton, what was that face-to-face encounter? And welcome to the X-Zone, young man.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was a pretty interesting encounter. I was pretty kind of casual interest into paranormal investigation, stuff like that. Mostly, I just like the technical side of it. But the company I work for, I'm a data analyst for, and we had actually just bought a warehouse in downtown Fort Worth, and there were a lot of weird rumors about it and stuff like that, and nothing I really paid a whole lot of attention to. But when I went in there by myself a couple of times, and it was kind of weird. But there was one time in particular I went in there, and I was working totally by myself. I knew I was by myself, and I kept hearing weird noises. The typical things, you hear somebody say, oh, there was weird noises or weird sounds. You could hear somebody humming, and people had told stories. Well, I was working in there, and it sounded like one of the company drivers had actually come in the back door, but I turned around, there wasn't anybody there. So I started kind of wandering around the warehouse trying to find him because, because we couldn't have anybody in the warehouse at the time. We had just gotten it, and the safety regulations weren't all in place. So here I am wandering around this warehouse. I can clearly hear somebody moving around and can't find him. And finally I come out of an office area where I was looking, and I saw a door. I clearly saw somebody like walk in a door and the door closed. And I wasn't real familiar with the warehouse yet, so I thought it was just a break room. And so I walked over, I just opened up the door, and sure enough, it was just a broom closet. No way in, no way out. And it freaked me out. I ended up, I just had to collect myself. I went outside, had to catch my breath because it freaked me out so much. But, eventually after I collected myself, I went back inside, got my phone out, started recording, and I got all kinds of EVP sound. It sounds like a little kid humming in there. Right. And I got a pretty profound picture. And, that was the very first time I had done anything like that. And in the picture I got, just blew everybody away that I knew in my personal life. And they're like, wow, that's awesome. You really should start doing stuff like this. And so I just got casually more interested in it after that, and just kind of a little more obsessed with trying to, capture lightning in a bottle a second time,
So what was in that picture you took? That
at the back of the warehouse, where I was the only one there, but I just started snapping pictures all around the warehouse. But when I snapped a picture at in the back of the warehouse, pretty close to the back exit to the place, when we reviewed it, I'm not going to say what it is, but to me, it looks like somebody standing there. And there's a lot of debate on our website on whether or not they're looking out the window or they're looking back at me. But it looks like a full body apparition, just kind of standing there, just getting its photograph taken, just casually.
After scaring the hell out of you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ashton, please stand by. You and I have to take a short break here. Exo Nation, Ashton Rogers is our guest this hour. His website is www.ntparanormal.com, and he is the founder and lead investigator of NTParanormal Investigations. Once again, their website is www.ntparanormal.com. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Send me your emails. I love getting your emails, but like I keep telling you guys, some of you have mental challenges, I swear. Where you come up with half the stuff that you send me, well, I'll tell you, that's a mystery in itself. Ashton and I return on the other side of this break. Exo Nation, don't go away.
This is Johanna Carroll, host of Dialogue with Divinity on the X Zone Broadcast Network. While walking along Kaanapali Beach in Maui this past year, I kept discovering all these shells and coral in the shape of hearts. My dialogue with Divinity was very simple. Do you want me to do a retreat to heal people's hearts in Maui next year? And of course, the answer was yes. As a master spiritual teacher, I am offering you a neat retreat called Rise, May 8th through the 12th, 2017, and the chance of a lifetime to rest at a 5-star resort for 5 days and experience a spiritual renewal of your heart and soul. Kaanapali is one of the top 5 beaches in the world. This stunning resort has undergone a $40 million renovation. I walked the entire property, checked out the room choices on your behalf, and I must say it is stunning. Our conference room faces the ocean with sliding glass doors. Maui is known as Mother Maui because it is a soft, gentle, healing energy. In the embrace of Mother Maui, you will feel yourself rising from the limitations of an ordinary life to an extraordinary journey of peace, bliss, and harmony. A greater sense of clarity. Our Rise Retreat ignites renewal in the sacred elements of air, water, earth, fire, and wind. There's plenty of free time to enjoy all that Maui has to offer. A small deposit is required now to reserve your space, as this retreat, it will sell out. For more details, please go to johannacarroll.com and register today. Aloha, and I'll see you in mystical Maui.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Ashton Rogers is our guest this hour. He is the founder and lead investigator of NTParanormal Investigations. The website is NTParanormal.com. Ashton, how many members are there in NTParanormal Investigations right now?
Currently, we have 7 field team members. I have one person that is actually a case analyst. He doesn't actually go on the investigations with us. He hangs back and just does all the research on it. And then including me, there's 6 people that actually go on site, given the size of the investigation.
What has been your most bizarre investigation to date?
Actually, it's one that we're working on right now. We recently just visited Kyle Cemetery in Johnson County in Rio Vista, Texas. We had actually picked the site because we heard no rumors about it. There was actually no history on the place, anything like that. We were actually going there because the intent was to film an episode where we were going to debunk everything. In the episode, we were going to show like typical things people hear on site and stuff like that, and show, you know, natural explanations for it, as opposed to just jumping at everything like you would see in a lot of the paranormal shows that are on TV now. And of course, that place totally threw us for a loop because we went in there and we have been creeped out since. And we actually haven't even posted up the episode yet because we decided that we needed to go in multiple times to test things that we already got to make sure we knew what we were looking at before we actually tried to make an episode or make any claims about the location.
So what kind of activity is there?
Well, the first thing that really threw us for a loop when we went, we cased the place out during the day. But what's weird is at night that place just has a totally different feel. It's almost as if the spatial relations change at night. Like the place seems bigger, it seems darker, it seems like there's more trees. Like not just like a weird feeling, but like almost in a measurable sense. We're actually doing some experiments with that. That's a little outside of our field of what we normally mess with, but it's really caught our attention. After the very first night we went out there, we were hearing a lot of sounds, like people walking around, but that place is totally isolated. And we checked all over the place. We saw a lot of strange shadows moving around. And we captured a lot of EVPs. And of course, after that very first investigation, you know, we're going through it, we're trying to debunk it. And my case analyst looks up the history on that place, and it turns out there is a long, scary history about Rio Vista and Johnson County. There's been numerous bodies dumped out there in 1801. It was a battleground between the Anadarko Indians and the Cherokee Indians, and they just left the bodies there because it was so brutal. There's just countless stuff we ended up finding out after being out there that matched up with the evidence that we collected.
So, if it's this active, how come there wasn't any information on it when you and your researchers did your, looked around to find out?
Well, I mean, the information was there, but it wasn't anything that anybody had called us on. We had just found it kind of driving around and didn't do any research on it. We just thought it was a really good place to film. So we really just kind of stumbled upon it by accident. The cemetery itself actually has, I can't find any rumors on it on the internet, but that geographical location does.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was a real interesting find, and it's just in our backyard. It was pretty crazy to find it.
So would you describe yourself as a skeptic or a believer?
I like to describe myself as a skeptical believer. I think that there are things out there that are what we call paranormal. I'm not necessarily one to jump on the bandwagon of confirming, oh, it's a spirit or it's a ghost or anything like that, because I define anything paranormal is something outside of what current science can explain. So, yeah, I think there's things that are out there that go bump in the night and they are measurable and they are documentable. And eventually, one day, we'll be able to show what these things are. But I'm not one to say that it's a ghost or something like that. You know, it could be aliens, alternate dimensions,
Sure.
recorded memories. The list goes on and on.
Why do you think the paranormal is such a hot topic these days?
I think people are running out of things to talk about. I mean, you have reality TV. It's everything's played out, and the paranormal is something that we still don't know anything about. There's still mystery to it, so it it still has that allure to it because people don't know what to expect from it, and there's still an air of we don't understand it.
Hmm. How do you gauge the let me see, how can I say this without being too sarcastic?
Be as sarcastic as you want.
Okay, thank you. How do we gauge the real paranormal investigators compared to, and I'm putting this word in quotations, air quotes, reality TV programming?
Oh, yeah, I've talked about this at length. I like to compare it as paranormal investigators to ghost hunters. I think a ghost hunter is just somebody that's going out kind of looking for a thrill on the weekends. They go out with, their EMF detectors and, a little crappy digital recorder, and they go out and they're trying to get some stuff. And they're just not going to be real critical about the evidence they get. You can browse 1,000 websites that give you tips
Yeah.
on ghost hunting, and they'll tell you use the worst possible digital recorder because you're going to get more hits with it. Well, of course you are, because it's going to record every little thing, and you're not going to be
Exactly.
able to interpret it. But I think a paranormal investigator is going to take the time to try to debunk themselves more often than not. They're going to go in trying to find a totally natural
Explanation?
a totally natural explanation
Yeah.
for everything, as opposed to jumping to a conclusion of paranormal.
Do you believe in psychics or sensitives, and does it have a place, or do they have a place in the paranormal?
I think they do. It really depends on the kind of group it is. I do believe in psychic, sensitive stuff like that. But as far as my group goes, we are a purely scientific group. Our goal is to go in and document and prove and disprove stuff. Psychics are not something we can currently measure, gauge, prove, or disprove. So it doesn't have a place in my group. I don't like using it. And I don't like calling anybody a liar either. So I just try to stay away from it.
Right.
But I think psychic activity is something that, could be true. There's a lot of the brain that doesn't get used. And I think PK ability is also a possibility.
Yeah, I have my doubts about psychic ability, to be very honest with you. Especially after Sylvia Brown was making appointments past the date that she actually died on. So we know that didn't work out very well for her.
Yeah.
And, like, they never win the lottery.
Yeah, you would think they would be a lot more successful if they really were a psychic. Like I said, I believe in the possibility. I have never met anybody that has convinced me yet.
I have to tell you this, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it being in the media as well. I had a lady on the show. This must go back about 9-10 years ago. And she was a channel, a medium. And we were talking, and she says, Rob, I hate to do this, but there's somebody who just came to me with a message for you. And I said, oh, really? What was it? She said, it's a young lady. She's blonde. She's got blue eyes. She's your departed sister. And I said, really? Oh, yeah. And she goes into this big diatribe. And, after about 5 minutes, she says, "So what do you think about the message?" Well, I said, "Well, I've got some good news and some bad news for you." And she said, "What's that?" I said, "Well, the good news is that whatever this message was really has nothing to do with me, because the bad news is I've never had a sister," and I hung up on her.
Oh, yeah. I haven't really had that much interaction with anybody claiming to be psychic. Just a couple of people that claim to be sensitive, and if we have somebody that's like a guest investigator or something like that says they're sensitive, and they say, "Oh, I kind of feel something over here," we say, "Okay, we'll go look in that direction. We'll check it out. We'll point our cameras over there."
Right.
And if we coincidentally get something, okay, then it's a good footnote on our evidence.
Sure.
However, we don't say that personal experience is valid in paranormal investigation, but it is not evidence.
Yeah. We even had a lady come to the studio with her psychic goat.
You're kidding me.
Oh, my friend, I kid you not. 25 years of doing this show. We've got some great footage for the Christmas party. I'll tell you that much.
Our last pocket, we do a small podcast with our group, and one of the people in my group has actually just bought goats recently, and she got the dates mixed up. We were doing an interview with somebody, and she just comes barging into the studio with this goat in her arms. "Hey, I got a goat." "Oh, were y'all doing something?" And it was all I could do to just stay professional during the interview.
Right.
But everybody, it was a live broadcast, and everybody online just went crazy. So our official mascot is a goat now because of that.
So
we call it the NTParagoat.
NTParagoat. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've had everybody come here. Some people wearing tinfoil on their heads because they didn't want the aliens to understand what they were thinking. To a man who built a UFO deflector out of a Canadian Tire battery and a red light.
Wow.
Yeah,
I imagine having a show in this field, it can get pretty weird because you're going to get a wide range of people.
Yeah. That's putting it mildly, my friend.
Well, I'm quite sane. I mostly, aside from the paranormal, I mostly do it just to play with all the gadgets. I'm really into media, and I love cameras and audio and stuff like that.
Well, I'll ring my little techie friend. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Great having you with us, Ashton. Exonation Ashton Rogers is our guest. He is with NTParanormal Investigations. The people with the goat. And his website is No, I'm only kidding. It's ntparanormal.com. That's www.ntparanormal.com. And we'll both be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. From goats, let's see, we had a psychic goat here. We had some people who brought in guinea pigs that told the future. Too many things to remember. Good times, though. We'll be back on the other side. So whatever you do, don't go away because, you know what? This is the X Zone.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, High Tech with Corey Kay, and every minute of the 24/7, 365 programming of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 712-432-9459, courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 712-432-9459 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 712-432-9459 for the best of paranormal, new age, thought-provoking, sci-fi radio programming 24/7, 365.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net. Shamanism is recognized as a method to access the quantum level. Mastery of shamanic skills puts spiritual information and healing power into your hands. Path Home Shamanic Art School, a bonded Colorado certified occupational school, has met rigorous state standards, ensuring its director and instructors have the qualifications to teach the shamanic arts. Path Home offers its certification program in blocks of study. Block 1, a 5-day intensive, will be held in the beautiful mountain town of Coaldale, Colorado, October 13th through 18th. Registration deadline is September 12th. Experience journey trance, power animals, helping spirits, sacred space, and life purpose. Come discover your power. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magical world of shamanism. Call 303-775-3431 or visit findyourpathhome.com.
And welcome back, everyone. Ashton Rogers is our guest this hour. www.NTParanormal.com is his website. And Ashton, what would you consider to be definitive proof of the paranormal?
Oh, I mean, other than Elvis just walking out of a spaceship and shaking my hand, let's see, definitive proof. It's going to have to be documented on multiple devices. I don't even think I've caught definitive. With all the stuff we've caught, I don't think we've caught anything that we could call definitive. I've yet to actually take a picture that caught anything that wasn't on a digital camera yet. And I'd really like to capture something on film where I actually have the negatives to analyze as well. But as far as definitive proof goes, I mean, we're still striving to actually come up with an experiment that could actually give us definitive proof, because I don't think we have any instruments or experiments that are currently being run that could make anything definitive, because there's always that shred of doubt in there.
What's your take on UFOs?
Well, you know, I'm on the fence. 90% of the claims that I've seen or heard in person, just not real big on. But do I think there's aliens? Yeah, there's no way we're alone in the universe. I actually have a really funny story. Like, for about a month, I thought I was seeing UFOs too. I was getting really into it. I was driving around going to work one morning, and I swear I saw a silver disc like flying. I was like, oh my God, did I just see a UFO? I didn't tell anybody about it for a week. And then I was like, hey, I think I saw a UFO. And then a couple of days later, I saw it again, like in a different location. I was like, wow, this can't be coincidence. I was really starting to get convinced that I saw a flying saucer. And then I'm driving around one morning and I see it again, but the traffic's real slow. So I have time to like really pay attention. I stop and it kind of goes away. I'm like, what's going on? And I drive up a little bit and I realize what I've been seeing is the silver glint off of the telephone lines that run parallel to the road. And it looks like a silver disc, but it's just reflective light, and it moves along with you as you're driving because of perspective. And I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. I was like, I can't believe I thought that was a UFO.
Well, I'll bet you didn't start wearing tinfoil on your head, did you?
No, but I really wanted to document it somehow, and I did not know how. But I'm glad I figured out what it was before I went and made a team to go research it, because I would have looked like an idiot.
Well, you could have said I was just testing you guys to see if you would be gullible enough.
Yeah.
Listen, speaking about UFOs, do you think it's possible that the United States government or any other government on this planet could actually conceal or participate in a cover-up conspiracy to hide the fact that UFOs actually are here?
Do I think it's possible? I think anything's possible, but I don't think there is a huge elaborate scheme on it. If aliens have been visiting us for a while, yeah, they might be keeping it under wraps. But I think a lot of the conspiracies, the more common conspiracies you hear about, I'm real skeptical of them. Of course, I'm not an expert on, I'm not a ufologist. I'm not an expert on aliens. My interest to it's pretty casual.
I don't think there is an expert on UFOs. I really don't. I really don't. Because, I question the guests that come on. And one of my biggest things is, well, how can you hide, or how can there be such a conspiracy? Hiding that,
I don't even see the point in having such a huge, like, what is the purpose of hiding it? So aliens came, and they're a more advanced or less advanced species than us. I just, other than maybe taking the technology and not wanting other countries to get a hold of it out of fear, that would be it. But I don't know. I live in the United States. I live in a place where Donald Trump could possibly be president in the next few months.
Well, it could be worse.
I just don't think they're smart enough to cover that much stuff up and let that kind of person be president.
Speaking about presidents in the United States, Bill Clinton is living proof that the United States government could not perpetrate a conspiracy or cover-up of that magnitude, because because look what happened. Look what happened. If the president of the United States in the most secure building in the United States cannot have a presidential affair without the world knowing within months after it happening, how in the name of God are you going to hide a crashed UFO with dead aliens? Unless they're from Mexico.
And depending on who you're talking to, you're going to argue yourself in a circle. Sure. We'll say, oh, well, that was just a distraction to keep you from looking at what was really going on. And I'm just like, I don't think they're that smart. Our country is trillions of dollars in debt. Yeah. We can't feed everybody here. We got all these problems. And really, they're going to spend their time focusing on hiding UFOs and dead aliens? It's far-fetched.
It doesn't make sense. And here's another reason that I really don't believe there is a conspiracy in place, because you have all these different countries that are not friendly to the United States that are hacking into their computers. Wouldn't it be to the advantage of a non-friendly country to find the proof that the U.S. government has been suppressing the information on UFOs?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't even think of it from that angle. That's a really good point. I mean,
and then just break it out to the media. You'd have instantaneous dissolvement of the current.
Not even other countries.
That's right.
Just look at Anonymous. Anonymous releases information all the time, and if it was there, they would have broke it already. I mean, they broke open Ashley Madison just because.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they actually expose aliens?
Exactly. Exactly. So, like Judge Judy says, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, then it is a duck. And
Yeah, I do believe that there are aliens out there. I don't know that they've been visiting Earth. If they did, I would lean more towards the ancient aliens.
yes.
Theory, like way in our past, and for whatever reason they just haven't come back yet, or maybe they died out, or maybe we're just stupid and not really that interesting to them.
You know what really peeves me off is when I listen to these people who say, well, look at all the great advancements that we have due to reverse engineering. Like, okay, what great advancements? Well, the microchip. Well, that's because you haven't studied the development of the microchip. Let's go somewhere else. And they say, well, you know what? That's my proof. What's your proof that they haven't? Well, let's take a good look at why we're still using solid propulsion rocket fuel from here to Mars.
We're not even smart enough not to destroy our planet right now because we're still stuck on fossil fuels. I mean, we have the technology to go forward and have clean energy, but we're too stupid to just pull the trigger and do it.
No, that's not the real reason. And it's because there's too many people who have their hands in their, each other's pocket that are making money and blah, 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 blah. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. And once again, why do people take away from human ingenuity? We can't be that dumb. I think we've done quite a few good things.
I think we've done monumental things on our own. I mean, I don't think when we split the atom that we were, reverse engineering anything.
No.
That was just good old fashioned hard work. You know,
and then you've got the people now these people really scare me, who believe that the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland is going to cause a massive black hole here on planet Earth.
I hold a certificate in gravitational physics,
right?
And just it's very basic. It's not even advanced science. It's very basic science on some of those levels. Like just crack open a book, watch even Discovery Channel's good enough, and it's just you have to pander to the lowest common denominator on a lot of these things.
Isn't that scary though?
Oh, it's terrifying.
I've had a lot of people on who say the mark of the devil is 666. And I've given this a lot of thought, and I personally believe the mark of the devil is WWW, because there's more crap in the largest septic tank that man has ever created, called the internet, than there is anything else.
Absolutely.
Because you know this, Ashton, better than anybody. If it's on the internet, it's true.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I could just post up some fake stuff tomorrow and everybody would just be clicking on my site, but you have to have some integrity. But I can't even think of how many arguments I've gotten into with somebody. I'm like, well, so what's your source? And they're like, oh, well, it was on Huffington Post. Oh, excellent. That's great. Did you look any further than that?
No.
Did you look past just mainstream media? Oh, well, no, I don't know how. Oh, great. That's great.
Well, I had a lady on the other night. This is the God's truth, okay? Have you ever seen that reality show with the moonshiner guys who make the moonshine?
Yeah, I know which one. I can't think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, this was their mother. And what she's doing now is she's ghost hunting in the woods and in the city where they live, the little city somewhere in the middle of nowhere land, and they're getting their own reality show.
I don't get it. I don't know how it's so easy for these people to get shows. It drives me insane. It just seems like anybody, like all the shows out there, like the main ones. I don't want to call anybody out on your show, but I mean,
go right ahead. I do all the time.
Well, the two main shows I can think of right now, the main investigators are in rock bands, and like that's their experience. They're like, well, I'm in a rock band, so I'm a paranormal investigator. I don't claim to be any kind of expert, or I'm muddling my way through it just like anybody else would. But I don't make claims of I'm sensitive or I can get ghosts to talk to me or anything like that. I'm just trying to document what's already there, and I'm trying to be honest about it.
Yeah. Mind you, the investigators who's in a rock band, they're very good at marketing. They're doing a lot of good cross marketing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need to call them up because they know what they're doing, apparently.
Why do you think so many people are into the paranormal these days?
Like I said before, I think it's the unknown.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because it's something that you can't gauge, and it's something that you can't prove or disprove. I mean, reality TV is such a big thing now, and it drives me insane because it's just the worst part of TV.
Do you know why?
TV.
Do you know why it's so bad?
Do what?
Do you know why it's so bad?
Why is that?
It's cheap to make.
Well, yeah, you just grab a camera, point it. I mean,
Exactly. And now, God, I remember when I got into this industry, a broadcast camera, you were looking at $60,000, $70,000.
oh, now you can just pick up a handy cam at
Yeah.
Walmart and just be a YouTube star overnight.
And as long as it has high definition on it,
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the
Frustrating.
paranormal is getting big because, you have reality TV is already big anyway. Paranormal is just the next step to reality TV.
Yeah.
It's just horror reality TV. It's for the horror junkies out there.
Yep.
And with regular reality TV, you know where it's going because if you've seen one reality show, you've seen them all. But
and they're all scripted.
Yeah, every last
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah, and I suspect a lot of the paranormal shows are very scripted too.
Oh, they
There's a
are,
lot of
yeah.
stuff I've watched, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I can tell you what's about to happen right now, and
But
sure
do
enough, it
you know what the
happens.
logic is with TV producers? If it don't bleed, it don't lead. You need to be fast-paced. You need to have action. So if it has to be concocted, it's entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that. Okay, we're trying to make money. We're trying to hit a demographic, and that's what all these idiots out there want. But for people that are really actually serious about it, like I am, like I still watch the paranormal shows because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
In case they do accidentally catch something that's actually interesting. But I mean, the biggest tip off, but before I even got into paranormal investigation, I'm like, it's really funny that they always manage to find some kind of evidence every single place they go.
Sure.
I've been on 30 investigations in a row and not caught anything, but we still go ahead and make an episode on our website, and we debunk every little thing, and we're like, we didn't find anything here because we try to approach it honestly, and that's probably why we don't have a popular show on Discovery Channel.
Well, the truth is stranger than fiction. You just have to want to be true to yourself and true to your audience. And that's why, my friend, you're not on Discovery yet.
Yeah, we respect our audience. We think they're smart enough to know, when we're faking it and when we're actually showing them something that's real.
How do you feel about people going into graveyards looking for ghosts, looking for spirits?
Well, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. The wrong way is to go in and trespass and cause a whole bunch of hassle for everybody and get the cops called on you.
Right.
And we do a lot of hunts in graveyards, but the thing is we go through the proper channels. We talk to somebody that knows something about that graveyard. We get in touch with the authorities. We let them know what day we're going to be out, stuff like that. We're very respectful when we go, and it drives me up a wall when we go into these places. And I see, I actually just saw an article the other day where somebody had gone through Springtown, Texas, and just toppled over like half the headstones. And it drives me nuts. And a lot of the money that we get for donations, we actually put those towards the gravesite preservation funds that are out there to
Excellent.
Try to help with that. It's a lot of fun to go in at night and jack around and try to go catch stuff, but if you're doing it illegally, you're already amped up anyway because you're afraid you're going to get caught, so you're going to jump at every little sound you hear. You're going to think everything's paranormal, and if by the grace of God you don't actually get caught out of there, you're not going to be able to go back and do any kind of legitimate follow-up or anything like that. Whereas opposed where we go through the proper channels and do what we're supposed to do, we can actually do a legitimate study there. We don't have to be worried about, are the cops going to show up and haul us out of here? Is somebody going to think that we're vandalizing the place or anything like that? A big theory, over half my group, even though we do find stuff in graveyards sometimes, half my group is like, oh, that's crap, because why would a ghost hang out in a graveyard? Nobody died there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, that was my theory going into it. And then, of course, we went into Kyle Cemetery and just had our minds blown. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then it finally dawned on us. There's a lot of history there before it was a graveyard. And so we think we might be catching that. Another theory is that it might not be necessarily a ghost, but the energy of people maybe mourning there, or just the constant sadness that's there from people being sad.
Hey, Ashton, I hate to do this, my friend, but you and I have to take our final break. Please stand by. Exo Nation, Ashton Rogers is our guest this hour. I've got a funny feeling he's going to be back with us in the future. His website is, let me see, NT-Goats. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. www.ntparanormal.com. We'll be back. Don't go away.
As host of Dialogue with Divinity, I am thrilled to join the X-Zone Broadcast Network and their growing number of affiliates. My quest for a connection to the divine ignited my successful career path as an international spiritual counselor for over 40 years, an author of 4 books, and well-known metaphysical educator. My clients call me their spiritual mama. So my job is to offer you a radio show to help you grow spiritually with wisdom and get specific tools from guests who are experts in their field. Tune in to Dialogue with Divinity and be part of the conversation with Spirit. My goal, your happy soul. For more information, please visit my website at johannacarroll.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, High Tech with Corey Kay, and every minute of the 24/7, 365 programming of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 712-432-9459, courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 712-432-9459 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 712-432-9459 for the best of paranormal, new age, thought-provoking, sci-fi radio programming 24/7, 365.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net. This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st Century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
What Happened in Benghazi is revealed by Nicholas Genix, author of Obama, Islam, and Benghazi. He informs the American people that President Obama deceived them by advocating a strong foreign policy prior to the 2012 presidential election, and Hillary Clinton supported this deception. As the title infers, there is a connection between Obama, Islam, and Benghazi. Ample evidence informs Americans that Obama's early indoctrination in the Quran developed an affinity for Islam, why the Quran is the source of discontent in many countries, and why the Obama foreign policy deception led to poor military action and caused the loss of American lives in Benghazi. Genix provides 36 questions for the Select Committee on Benghazi to validate if Americans are justified to mistrust President Obama and Hillary Clinton. An overview of Obama, Islam, and Benghazi is presented on the website www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Afterlife expert Roberta Grimes was the first one to say that dying can be fun. Now her best-selling book, The Fun of Dying, is available in stores worldwide. So if you wonder whether death ends life, how it feels to die, or what heaven might be like, The Fun of Dying was written for you. And if you have always been afraid of death, or if you worry that your life has no meaning, let The Fun of Dying ease your fears and bring new meaning to your life. Nothing said in The Fun of Dying is based on the teachings of any religion. Instead, Roberta draws on evidence to explain how death happens, how it feels, and what comes next. A lot of the best death-related evidence was produced in the first half of the 20th century. When it is put together with recent discoveries, it tells a consistent and amazing story. Roberta Grimes blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Her wonderful book, The Fun of Dying, is available on Amazon and at stores worldwide wherever books are sold.
Exonation, Ashton Rogers is our guest, www.NTParanormal.com. First of all, Ashton, thanks so much for coming on the show with us tonight. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, and I wish you and your team mucho success, my young friend.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's been great being on the show.
How would you define the word paranormal?
Paranormal. Anything outside the normal. No, that's too easy. I define everything paranormal as something that can't be currently measured or proven with current technology, current science. It's pseudoscience. I mean, it's ghosts, it's UFOs, it's Bigfoot. It's anything that we can't currently document. But as soon as we can, and we can prove it, it's not the paranormal anymore. It ceases to be paranormal. Right. It becomes normal.
So, in your opinion, where does the paranormal fit into the realm of established religious philosophy?
I think they can coexist. I think people, they get hung up on, well, I can't believe in ghosts because my religion says this, or I can't, my religion doesn't function with this. You have to be more open-minded than that. My religion is not set in stone. I adapt to things that I learn. Knowledge is power, and it's everything can coexist. I don't like people that think that science and religion can't coexist. They easily can. Religion is almost paranormal by definition because you cannot prove these things. I cannot go and prove the existence of God.
Plus the Bible is filled with examples of paranormal activity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the whole, that's the point of it, is there's higher powers controlling things. But the Bible is also filled with lots of inaccurate translations. There's also multiple religions that all kind of say the same thing. To just be narrow-minded like that, I think you're closing yourself off to a bigger world.
What are your final thoughts for the Exonation tonight?
I just think people need to be more open-minded about things. Everybody always asks me is, how did you get into the paranormal, or how can you believe in the paranormal if you can't prove it? And everybody I know that does believe in paranormal, their story always starts the same. I didn't believe in the paranormal until this happened to me.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how my story starts. You know, I didn't believe in any of this crap until I came face to face with it, and now I'm just hooked. So keep an open mind. Anything's possible. You can't for sure say anything is not possible, because there's so many things we said we wouldn't be able to fly, and then the Wright brothers proved everybody wrong. So you just got to be open-minded about things.
And of course, as we progress in time and we keep learning, who knows what we'll find out about ourselves and about the world around us, the seen world and the unseen world. So, Ashton, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us. Let our listeners know how they can find out more about you and what you guys do.
Just check us out at www.ntparanormal.com. You can also like us on Facebook at Facebook/NTParanormal. And check out our YouTube page.
All right, my young friend, take care of yourself, and I look forward to talking to you again the next time you visit us back here in the X-Zone. And you're always welcomed here with your goat.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll bring the goat next time.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour has been Ashton Rogers. Once again, his website is NTParanormal.com. Well, that's it for me. I'll be back next week as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. Have a safe weekend, have a great weekend, and always remember to keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.